With its fascinating history, mouthwatering food, cosmopolitan megacities, and charming villages, it's easy to see why travelers flock to Europe. There's nothing quite like ascending the Eiffel Tower at night, sampling wine in the Tuscan countryside, or strolling along Amsterdam's canals. As long as you follow certain customs and traditions, that is. Yes, Europe is amazing. Just make sure you understand military time and the metric system, can drive a stick shift, and know better than to plug in your hairdryer. For first-time visitors, trying to figure out the continent's nuances can lead to embarrassing or uncomfortable situations that can sour a holiday. Thankfully, we're here to help you learn what to do, and more importantly, what not to do. Here are 7 of the most common mistakes Americans make in Europe, and helpful tips on how to avoid them at all costs. Not dressing the part. While it may seem appropriate to wear shorts and flip-flops on a hot summer day, don't expect to be led into the Vatican's holy sites or that fancy restaurant in Barcelona. In many parts of Europe, including the Spanish island of Mallorca and the Croatian towns of Split and Hvar, it's against the law to wear only a bikini or swimming shorts in the street. Authorities may impose fines if people are caught wearing swimwear away from the beach. In Mallorca, that even extends to the seafront promenade. And this doesn't mean everyone will want to snap selfies with you because you're a foreigner. It's more like you'll be an easier target for pickpockets. Also, save your fancy outfits for dinner. Heels are banned at certain Greek archaeological sites, including the Acropolis. Dining near the major sites. Dying to see the Roman Colosseum? Fantastic! But the spaghetti and meatballs next door will likely earn a thumbs down. Want authentic fish and chips? The cafe next to Big Ben is anything but a fresh catch. While long lines and hours spent on your feet might prompt you to run to the first cafe you see, your meal will likely be less authentic and far more expensive than going to someplace a bit farther from the action. Plan your meals and activities accordingly. Eat right before you go so that you don't get a huge craving as you're exploring the Pantheon. Don't forget to factor in lines at major attractions and giving yourself some time to get lost. Expecting modern luxuries. This charming little inn may not seem so great once you get there and realize you don't have Wi-Fi or television. But don't be like other Americans and expect a really old building to have modern conveniences like elevators and, in some cases, shower curtains. Or worse yet, don't complain to the hotel staff or write a scathing TripAdvisor rant about how you were deceived. Instead, do your research. If you need things like air conditioning, Wi-Fi, and television, you're better off at a Hilton or Marriott than a historic inn. But if you want to sleep in a piece of history, remember that your accommodations may be a bit dated, like all the way back to the 12th century dated, and that's part of their charm. Asking for the restroom. You'd think using a bathroom would be a straightforward experience, but some Americans seem to struggle in Europe. To avoid becoming flushed with embarrassment, learn what it's most commonly called in the country you're visiting. Don't ask where the restroom is, because in most places, they're called toilets or sometimes water closets. Have some change handy if you need to use a public facility, because it's often not free to use them, and another reason you should hold on to those coins. Also, if you can't find a handle to flush, look for the string. Several European toilets still use this mechanism. Tipping. A country's cuisine is a reflection of its culture, and eating can be one of the most fun parts of your vacation. However, dining out in Europe comes with certain nuances. Tipping, for instance, can be especially confusing, since it's very common to do in the US. Gratuities are a great way to show your appreciation, but they aren't necessary in Europe, where service charges are already built into a restaurant's prices. Even for exceptional service, tipping an extra 10% is considered generous. Asking for Swiss cheese or French fries. If you're the kind of person who loves to get laughed out of restaurants, go ahead and ask for Swiss cheese in Switzerland. Here, it's just cheese. Same goes for ordering French fries in France, and don't even dare do that in Belgium. In Switzerland, you can be infinitely smarter and order Gruyere, Emmenthal, Appenzeller, or any other kind of local cheese. Fun fact, there are more than 450 varieties from which to choose from. And in France or Belgium, just fries will do. Of course, in the United Kingdom, you want to call them chips. Using planes instead of trains. Europe has well-connected and extensive railways, but many travelers are tempted by budget airlines offering rock-bottom prices. But when you factor in the time it takes to get between the city and these airports, not to mention those long security lines before your flight, traveling by train can still be a far better use of your time and money. While flying might sound like a time saver, be sure to check which airport you're actually flying to, or risk ending up hours away from your intended destination. In Stockholm, for example, a flight to Skavasta Airport will land you more than 60 miles away from the city. Imagine arriving late at night and then still having to take a long, expensive, and uncomfortable bus ride when all you want to do is eat some meatballs and go to sleep. Be sure to check which airport you are actually flying to. Kissing on a train platform. Lips off. Couples have been banned from kissing on the train station in Manchester, England, a more recent law, and France, on the books since 1910. The reason? The ban was intended to avoid costly delays to the service and overcrowding in the stations. It's unclear for how long the law was enforced, or indeed what the punishment was for an illicit smooch, but there is certainly no formal penalty in place today. And that completes our list. Please let us know in the comments about your experience of Europe. We hope you liked the video. We will be back with another amazing content like this one. Take care and stay safe.